Hey guys, welcome to this tutorial. I'm Michael and I'm one of the team members of the LinuxTeach team. Today we're going to be walking through a couple of Linux commands to get you started as a beginner. If you've not already watched it, I've done a video which has 6 very basic commands to get you up and running as a beginner on Linux, and this is kind of like a follow-up of that. I would recommend you watch that before coming into this video, though you can still take this as a standalone, but it's just for precautions. So I will try and leave a link to that video in the description. But let's get started with our video for today. So if you've noticed, on the right part of my screen, I've got a little text editor open up there, and in there we have a couple of commands we're going to be running through in the course of this video. I think about 7 we're going to run through. So yeah, let's get started. I've opened up my terminal on the left here, and down here I've got my files opened up, my files and folders, so that you can see graphically what the changes we're making on the terminal. You can see how those affect the components on your system. So the first command, if you've noticed, is the mkdir command, and that stands for make directory, or in other words, make folder, make a new folder. Great, so how do we use this command? Currently in the terminal, I'm in my home directory, which is this one here in the folders. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say make dir, and I'm going to put the name of the folder we want to make, so we can just call this sample. And if you've noticed on the right here, we've got that folder created. How nice. There are other ways we can use this. So say for example we want to make a directory called sample, called test inside of sample. You would just say sample, you put a forward slash, you put the name of the new folder in there. And so if I click into sample folder, oh, there you go, I've got my test folder. Now there's something I want us to try, and you're going to see what this actually does. So I'm going to say today, and say tutorial. So I want to make a directory of inside a sample folder, and it should be today. It should create a folder called today, and inside today folder it should create another folder called tutorial. There's something going to go wrong with this, and as you can see that it says cannot create directory sample today tutorial. No such file or directory exists, and this is saying that because we're trying to use a directory that does not exist. So if you wanted, for example, we haven't got today inside of sample, we've only got test, but if you wanted it to run in such a way that if it goes to any directory that does not exist, it's going to create it, kind of like a parent thing, then we would use an option for make there called, which isn't actually just by passing in a dash and p there, which stands for parent, and if you hit enter, it's been created. So in my sample folder on the right here, if I click into today, you can see tutorial. Perfect. There are other ways or other things you can do with the make the command, but the easiest way to find that out instead of memorizing is to use the make the dash help. And if you hit enter, there you go, you've got a list of things. You've also got a there's the P, the dash P we used is also the dash V, which is for verbose. Basically, it's going to print a message to you for each created directory. So there are a bunch of options, and this applies to a lot of commands. You could just do the dash help, get more arguments you could pass into that to customize it to what you want it to look like. I'm going to clear my terminal here, and we're going to move on to the next command, which is rmdir. What does rmdir do? More or less the alternate of make dir. It removes a directory, it deletes a directory. But the problem with rmdir is, as you noticed, so I tried to remove the directory sample we created, and it says fail to remove sample because the directory is not empty. rmdir does not delete directories that contain files or contain folders. It's not going to work. You can only use this if the directory is empty. And that's why we got that error there. But if we wanted to actually delete a folder or to delete a directory that's got things contained in it, we would use the rm command, and we could pass in a -r for recursive, and then we could just specify the name of the directory. So I'm going to hit enter, and that has deleted our sample folder, which is why we got returned to the home page, the home folder on our graphic user interface. What the problem with RM is, not really a problem. You really want to be careful when using RM, because as you can see, we've literally just deleted the entire sample folder. So if you need to be really sure of what you've got inside of that folder before using the RM, because it's going to delete and there's no undo button, there's no reverse for that action. The RM has a lot of other arguments you could pass into it when running it, and again, like the make there, we can just simply do rm -- help, and we've got this interesting command or argument here, which is the -I argument. And what this does is, if you see, it prompts before every removal. This is really good, because if you're not really sure, if you've got a really bulk directory, you're not sure what you've got in there, it's going to prompt you for each item it's going to take out of that directory, which is really good, so you can filter out what exactly it is you're taking. The -R we wrote down there is recursive, so it just removes directories and their contents recursively as it goes, as it finds new ones. It takes it off, basically what it does. So that's the RM there, and that's the other one. I'm going to clear screen again so we can have a fresh terminal. The next one, which I like so much, is gedit, and I think I've got a file in my desktop, so I'm going to cd into that. And what the gedit does is, actually, I think I'm going to just use it and then explain what it does. So I'm going to say, yeah, gedit new note. If you notice on the right of my screen, yeah, because I got my editor shrunk in there, so it didn't really reflect very well. I'm going to close this and run that again. Yeah. So if you notice on the right top part of my screen, I've got my new note text file, which is this one, open up here. And that's exactly what gedit does. I like to think of it as graphical edit. So you would say gedit, and then you would pass in the file name of the file you wanted to open. This will open it up in a text editor for you. So I've got a couple of files in here. I've opened up a new note. Once I finish modifying that, I can easily close it up. And this saves you a lot of stress with having to go into the graphical user interface here, open a folder, look for the file and all of that. If you know where it is, you can just cd into that location, gedit the file, exit it, and carry on with what you're doing. Very useful tool, and should also have a help. Oh, can't spell. Should also have a help. Yep. So we've also got other arguments you could pass into this. So you really want to get used to that habit of using the help argument to check, just view what you could do with each command. We're not going to cover everything, obviously, but this is like a really good start. The next one we want to make use of is going to be the copy command. And this takes two parameters. So copy command is cp. And I'm in my desktop here. I'm going to copy test. I'm going to copy new notes.txt. And I'm going to specify path to the location I want it to go. So if I'm copying new notes.txt, I know that the path to my documents folder, I'm going to open up my documents so you can see there is nothing in there before I run that. Okay, there is a sample.txt, but we'll get to that. So I'm copying, I can't spell, I'm copying my new notes.txt. Great, so that's the path. Home, hail, which is my user, and then documents. And I'm going to hit enter. And you can see on the right, we've got our new notes.txt in there. We've copied it over. Very nice tool that comes in hand. Very nice. The other one, which isn't really on the text editor, but is similar to the copy that we can also use, is the mv command, which is move. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cd into my documents folder, and I'm going to move the files there. So I'm going to do an ls. You can see it's just two files, as we can see on the right. And then I'm going to say mv for move. And then we're going to specify the name of the file, sample.txt. And then we can specify where we want to move it to. So I'm going to move it back to my desktop. Oh, there we go. We've moved the sample text file back to our desktop. Really nice. But there's something else we could do with this mv command. So if we say mv, and we've got only in the documents now, I'm going to do another ls. We've got only new notes.txt in there. So we say mv for move, and then we say new notes .txt, and we say I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna say new name.txt. What this is going to do is we've got a file called new notes.txt, and we're giving a new file name. What this is going to do is it's going to rename that file for us to the new one we just specified. I'm going to hit enter, and if you look on the right, we can see new name.txt. That's what we've got. It's no longer new notes, and if I do an ls here, we've got new name.txt. Brilliant. I'm going to do a clear screen here. I'm also going to cd back to my home, and we're going to move on to the next command, which is the locate command. Very, very beautiful feature in here. The locate command does not come default pre-installed on Linux, so you could install it using the command sudo apt install mlocate. I'm going to hit, actually, if you notice on the right, if you want to install it later, I've also typed it out here, you can see that. And if I hit enter, it's going to prompt me for a password because that's what sudo does. Admin1, I think. Correct password. So it's telling me that because I've already installed locate command prior to this video. So it's mlocate is already the newest version, which means I've already got the latest version. Great. So let's use the locate command. I'm going to say locate, and I'm going to pass in something called -i. And this is because what -i does, it just says whatever I'm searching for, don't bother where it's uppercase or lowercase. So it's going to make the search case insensitive. And I'm going to search for my old note.txt, which is on my I'm going to search for the one that it's in my desktop. So I'm going to search for it. I'm in my home. Remember, I'm in this folder, home, and I'm going to search for something inside desktop, but I'm not specifying it's in desktop. What locate is going to do, it's going to go through the entire bit of my system, and it's going to pull down whatever matches these text I've specified here. And as you can see, it's only old note.txt that matches it, and it's actually because this is a virtual machine. There's barely nothing in it. I just have some prep files for this video. Great, so we can also see other things we could do with the locate command. And I'm going to show you an example of where it's going to return a lot of things. So notice I've got a lot of notes in there. If I hit enter, oh, that is so long. I'm going to actually expand this so it can be viewed. So much. A lot of unrelated ones, but usually the ones that are located in your home folder, as I've seen or I've noticed so far using locate commands, they're always going to appear at the top. So if you're able to just quickly scroll all the way to the top of your, and there we go. We have all the three files that are in the desktop that have notes in it. So we've got note test, new note, old note, and it also gives you the path to that file. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, and that's about it. You notice it doesn't pull down this new notes.txt because that is notes and not note. So it's not that smart, I guess. Yeah, there are other things you could do with the locate command, but again, as I always suggest, use a --help. And actually, if you didn't want to use the --help, you could simply just do a -h, and that will still return the same thing. So we've got a lot of things. Here's the -i we use, which stands for ignore -case. Ignore case distinctions when matching patterns. There's also the -b, which would ignore spaces, punctuations when matching patterns. There are a lot of things we could do with this, but I'll leave you to explore this. I'm just giving you a guide into it. So, I think we're about done with the locate command. I'm going to clear my screen, and what I'm going to do next is the last command for today, find. What the find command does is it's going to locate or search files within a specific directory. So if we specify a directory for the find command, it's going to look only in that directory for the file we specified. So if you know, oh, I've got my documents folder. I know I put a file in the documents folder, but I can't remember where exactly I put it in. My documents folder is so complicated. We could just specify, oh, look in the documents folder, look, see if you can find something like this. And we can do that by saying, so we need to pass in the path to that file. I'm going to say desktop. I'm in the home. Actually, I'm going to make this very easy to understand. PWD. I'm in home hail, and I'm not seeding to my desktop, but I'm going to run the find command. I'm going to say home. Hail is actually my user, just in case you're wondering. Desktop, and then once we've done that, there's an argument called -name, where we pass in the name of the file we want to search for. So if I know, oh, I created a test note file, and I hit enter. Oh, actually, because the name of my file is testnote.txt, because I created it with an extension as the name. Yeah. So you pass that in, and you can see it returns the entire path to that file. We could also use this in other instances. So, for example, if we wanted to search in our current directory, and you notice I've only got one file in my home folder, so I'm going to search for that instead. I could choose to search for that. I could also choose to search for a directory. So if I say dot and I say -name, and then I can specify the name of the file, and I'm going to use actually I'm going to show you what this does without the, so I'm going to say Linux commands, which is the name of my file. I'm going to hit enter. You can see it's kind of breaking because we've got a space in our name. So if you've got a space in your name, you need to close those in quotes and hit enter, and it tells me, oh look, Linux command is right on the main folder. It's not in any subfolder. And if I do an ls, you can also see that this is my Linux commands file that I searched for. You could also say you wanted to look for directories. If you wanted to look for directories, I hope I get this right, you would say a -type, and you would say D. Right, I'm going to do a quick help before I run that. Yeah, most of them is --h. Okay, so unlike the other ones, this one looks a little bit more complex, but we've got the name one we're specifying here. We've also got a type somewhere in there. For some reason I can't find where it's written. I can only see this. Should be it. Anyways, I'm going to show you how we can do this. I'm going to clear so you can see clearly. I'm going to say find dot, which just means look in the current directory. Type, and type is D. -name. What are we looking for? Music. Yep, we found our music folder, which is the one we've got over here. Yeah, so the find looks a bit more like it's complex, but in reality it isn't. Once you've got a relative understanding of how it should work, if you read this properly, because of time, I'm not going to run you through reading this, but if you just take your time and go through this, you're going to understand how it works, and you're going to be able to modify your own searches and produce something really cool. So that's about it. We've covered 7, 8, I don't know how many commands we've done, but yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I look forward to bringing more videos to you. Hopefully I should be doing some more command videos, and we'll be looking into other aspects of Linux as well. Thanks very much for watching. Have a nice day.